relationship or engaged, and I wanted to be married, and I wanted all these things. And I wanted to have kids by this age, or find myself in this place in life at this stage. And I had all of these like grand plans for what my life should look like. And through all of that, God has intervened and said, no, not even are you not on the right timetable, but you are not even in the right plan. Right? So it was almost like God was saying, like, not only is your timetable off, like you're living in a different time zone. Right? I often crack up when I'm when I'm talking to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, because they live in South Dakota, which is an hour behind us. And so sometimes we'll be sending like messages to each other, like little video messages through Marco Polo. And she'll say, well, I've only got, like just this week, she said, I've got about an hour of work left to do. So 4:30, I'm going to be done. And I'm thinking, I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, it's 5:30. And I even sent her a message thinking, I almost sent you a message saying, do you not know how to tell time because it's 5:30, right? But our time zones are different, right? That's sometimes how it feels when God is trying to get us on board, right? He's trying to say, it's going to happen at 7:30. It's going to happen at 7:30. It's going to happen at 7:30. And you're living in a different time zone. So in your time zone, you think it's already 7:30. And you're saying, God, let's go, hurry up. And God's saying, we're not on the same time frame. I want to pause here for just a second because I want to read Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 15 from the Message translation. I really just like the way that it says the ending portion of the scripture from verses 9 to 15. So the words again are going to be up on the screen, and I'm going to read Ecclesiastes chapter 3 for you. There's an opportune time to do things, a right time for everything on earth, a right time for birth and another for death, a right time to plant and another to reap, a right time to kill and another to heal, a right time to destroy and another to construct, a right time to cry and another to laugh, a right time to lament and another to cheer, a right time to make love and another to abstain, a right time to embrace and another to part, a right time to search and another to count your losses, a right time to hold on and another to let go, a right time to rip out and another to mend, a right time to shut up and another to speak, a right time to love and another to hate, a right time to wage war and another to make peace. But in the end, does it really make a difference what anyone does? I've had a good look at what God has given us to do. I really just love that verse right there. But in the end, what does it really make a difference what anyone does? I've had a good look at what God has given us to do, right? We don't need to be concerned with what the future holds because God already holds the future. That can be a very scary thing, especially if you have come from an experience where having things being out of your control is something that is different and difficult for you. Or having a sense of control is a way that you have protected yourself. It is not easy. It is not easy to relinquish control and to trust. But God is saying, I have already laid this all out for you. I have already put it into place for you. All you have to do is to trust me and to worship me. In the Message translation, it says this in verses 14 and 15. I have also concluded that whatever God does, that's the way it's going to be, always. No addition, no subtraction. God's done it, and that's it. That's so we'll quit asking questions and simply worship in holy fear. Can you imagine that? That is so we will stop asking questions and worship in holy fear. That is reverent worship. That is surrendered worship. That is intimate worship, where we say, I don't know the next step, but even going further than that, I don't need to know the next step because God already has the next step laid out for us. So as we are in this time of transition, we are transitioning out of this pandemic period and transitioning back into regular life and what that looks like. And for some of us, there's new normals. We are anticipating and looking forward to the time where we get to be with one another. and we get to be face to face again and worshiping in our house of worship. But I have to know that it will be happening in God's timing. It will be happening when the time is appropriate, when the period of worship doesn't have to stop because we're not in God's house of worship. We worship right here in our own home. Even though I'm looking at a camera, there are people that when I am speaking, I am thinking about you. I am thinking about your faces and your lives and everything that's going on in your own personal life. Those things come rushing to my mind, and I think of you when we prepare these messages and when we want to engage in worship with you. In verse 15, just a second, Jackson. Whatever was is, whatever will be is. That's how it always is with God. What can anyone add to their life by worrying, right? The New Testament tells us that. Not a single minute will you add to your life by worrying. Not a single minute will we be any different than we were before if we sit here in our homes and we ponder and we think, well, this is open yet, and why is my church not open, and why is that not open, and everything has changed, and everything is different, and I'm having a tailspin, and Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Whatever was is, and whatever will be is. That's how it always is with God. God has all of it in control. God's timing is always perfect. God's timing is not always our timing. God's timing is not always what we think it should look like, but it is always perfect, and it is always right on time. And that is God's timing, not our timing, not the world's timing, not when we think things should be happening, but God holds that in the palm of his hand. I hope that you have been blessed today. I hope that you will really have a new understanding of what God's timing looks like, how God desires us to live in holy fear and to worship in holy fear, and to not have those moments of panic. God bless you.